Sup nerds, I'm Wes.
I'm Tom.
Area control, worker placement, awesome game, let's do this.
Dilluvia Project is a pretty heavy game, definitely on the heavy side. And it also is a big game physically, and it takes a long time to set up and tear down, which is why obviously we didn't put any effort into making the table. I mean, look at this pile. Look at it. Zoom in on it, me editing this video.
Yeah, I definitely think it's a heavier game. Now, it's not going to stand up to like Untitled Chapter. A lot of his games, I think, are a lot heavier. But in terms of like this square box, it's definitely on the heavier side. So this game does have a couple different things going on in it. In the first section of the round, you are putting your blimps around here to kind of start claiming these tokens, which can get a little bit dicey, especially in like a 4-player game, because if like I put my blimp on the row and you put your blimp on the column, I could hypothetically like take one of the tiles that you wanted to get. Now, if I take it, you do get a coin for it. And then they get more expensive the farther away they are from your actual blimp. But this is how you get like more coins, more resources, some just straight up victory points, but a lot of stuff here that you are gathering for the rest of the round. Once everyone gets the stuff from here, you move on to like the worker placement aspect of the game, where there's spots all around the board that let you gather more resources, claim area on the board, actually build the buildings, buy the buildings, and so on. And then once you've finished your worker placement is when you actually get to put the buildings onto the board.
I mean, obviously there's a lot more with that, but the even like the buildings will have different like abilities on them, generally like income type things. And you put a little cube on it when you build it to say, this is what I'm going to get from this building. And later on, you can even move that. Also, when you're playing your workers, they're like those little discs. There is, I guess, like if you've played Stone Age, you'd be kind of familiar with this idea of you can place multiple workers to trigger that thing a little bit better. Like I could place 2 workers on the spot that shows where I'm going to get a purple. So I can get 2 purples. You also have like a big worker that will do like a better version of the thing too, if you want to do that.
But only if you're the first person to use that.
To use it at that location.
Yeah.
Right. So, and then turn order up here. Like there's obviously a lot going on, but I think with the phases of there's gathering resources in this grid thing, placing workers out with possibility of multiple workers and big workers, and then placing buildings out here in this area, you get an idea of the game. Now, I know Wes at the very beginning of this video said, big, huge game, awesome, let's check it out. Wes likes this game a lot more than I do. I am not super keen on this game. I don't know if I'm at the point of disliking it, but it is right in the middle for me. And at least at this point in my life, as I grow old, as I age, a good game, a decent game definitely doesn't cut it. A good game doesn't cut it. Even a great game might not cut it. And yeah, this one, I think the best word I can describe this one is a little bit clunky. And it kind of is. Like, am I gaining a point? Or am I gaining a point on the income track? Or am I gaining one of these points, or am I gaining one of those points? And then when I pass here, I go up because of how my houses are, right? And wait, where's my house? Okay, but there's 2 spots for the houses here. That's the one component complaint I'm going to make sure I complain about right now. This board, I don't think they really could have done it double recessed or whatever because all the different types of tokens that go on there. But this board does have a really high spill factor, just especially the fact that these 2 houses on this spot like twice, like it moves there and then it moves over from the 2 to the 3 type of thing. So that is really close. But anyways, getting off that, best example is I think this game is about comparable with like Pulsar 2849. And I felt that game was just so much smoother, so much more intuitive. Like it just made sense. Like everything really fell neatly into a category and I got it. Like still not baby's first game. Lots of symbology, lots of different special abilities you had to look up and stuff. So I feel like those 2 were very comparable. I just liked that one a lot better.
Which is funny because I actually would prefer this to Pulsar. Like Pulsar was a great game, but I remember like even my initial thoughts on it were not like as positive. Like you loved it and I'm like, yeah, it was fine. I do think that like and maybe it's the clunkiness that you're talking about, but there is a level of this affects that once you like break a line for you, I feel like you're like, nope, that was too far. Like your house on this track affects that track, which then affects where this track goes. Which I kind of like when things combo like that in a game, and I think it's one of the things that you dislike in a game.
Yeah, but the thing is, I don't think that's not comboing to me. That is, again, that's just clunkiness. Like, I don't know, it doesn't flow really well. There's so many wrinkles. We have to pause so much to, reevaluate how things work and why I would want to do things. And then we move over to this round and what happens here at this point in the round. There are cool ideas. I really like the Zeppelin thing to gain resources is really cool. I mean, the way you place workers, we've seen that before, but it's interesting. But again, it's like I could place multiple workers to get multiple things in this spot. I could place my big worker to do something a little bit different. This spot, I have to pay a coin to use. This spot is only used in larger player games. This spot, anybody can use, but this spot, only I can use, and I can only place one token here. Like, that much explaining just feels like unnecessary. That's just like, okay, in Pulsar, you're going to snake draft 2 dice, and then you can spend those dice on any of these things that show the dice symbol on it. Oh, and when you complete these 2 come together. Oh, look, it makes a die. That's the bonus die that you get. Like, I feel big and complex can be done smoothly. And when it's not, I go, why am I doing this when other games are big and complex and I get that feeling and I love it and it's so smooth? Like, why do I put up with clunkiness when there's all these other games that aren't clunky? I don't need to do this.
Yeah, and I think where you say clunky, I say like intricate. Like, there are intricacies in the game that I would prefer, like, a little bit more intricacy than like another spot to go on the board. And I think like some heavy games is just because there's so many things to do and so many places to go. And some heavy games we're going to kind of complicate the places that you can go and like create that intricacy within how you gather points, where I would almost prefer that to just make it bigger.
Well, I get what you're saying. I don't even know if I necessarily agree that that those, as you call them, intricacies are adding, or is the opposite of just more. Oh, Pulsar is just more, tons of options, and here everything links together, and this follows this, but only that, and then on Tuesdays, and then 2 times the number of players, minus 1 for every one of these you have, plus 4 over here.
You are exaggerating it to the nth degree.
No, I'm not. You're right. I'm exaggerating here, but I'm just describing the type of thing that I don't like. But you got a good taste of it when I explained to you how the worker placement worked. I said, there's these types of spots that anybody can go, this type of spot. Like, even right here, okay, there's 1X for a blue. If you're the blue player, only you can go there. But then there's the white one, so I guess I would go there first to block other people, because anybody can go there. And then these spots over here, these are only used in this player game. These are used normally. These ones you have to pay a coin, but I could put multiple there, or I could put my big guy there, and what's the difference and why? That, again, that to me, I was like...
Love it. I like that in a game.
Okay, great, fine, then do that. But for me, I'm saying, why am I doing it? Because I want to think about the different options on my turn. I have to go through all these little rules, and I have to read out this list of like, okay, but if I were to do that, then what's the benefit of that? And also, like, symbology at times were a little bit an issue, because I think we were having trouble remembering if it was like to gain regular points or to gain income points. But that notwithstanding, I think it's the biggest thing is the in a vacuum type of thing. If this was the first heavy game I played, if, Pulsar didn't exist, you know what I mean? But I had to do a big cull of my collection. I got rid of like 150 games, right? But I would stare at a game and be like, why would I play this when I have that? It's similar on so many levels. It's comparable, but this one just does it better. It's just smoother. It's just smarter. It's just, I can teach it to more people. I can get it to the table easier. It's just, for me, this one it was just a swing and a miss.
And I think it's the difference of I like smooth peanut butter and I like crunchy peanut butter, because there are games that you like because they're smoother and I don't like, and I like the other game because it does have that crunch to it. So if you are someone who likes that more intricate, more sophisticated game, go ahead and click on that.
More sophisticated,
absolutely more sophisticated.
My
and click the purchase link in the description box.
But what you
get
should
a copy
definitely
of this game.
you should definitely go in the comments and say who you think is right and who you think is wrong.
If you played it, we'd love to hear who you agree with, why you agree with them, and why it's me.
Stupid. Wes just wants you to think he's smart. It's not a good game.
What we agree on is that Game Toppers are awesome and that you should get one. There's a link in the description box.
Never playing anything other than Game Toppers. I mean, whatever. Hey. You know what? Oh, they should. They should subscribe to our channel. Oh my god, then they'd never be blind.